iOS 11 Beta 1 review coming up right now. Let's go. So, what is up guys? Nick here helping you to master your technology, and iOS 11 Beta 1 is now available for registered developers. So you have to be a registered developer to get this right now. Public release will be available late June, but this is going to be the first look, world premiere, right here on Nick Ackerman channel of iOS 11. I'm going to download it here on the iPhone 6s Plus. This is coming in at 2.03 gigabytes, all new Apple Control Center, and many more features. I'm going to go ahead, download, install, and I will be back once it's downloaded and installing. Alright guys, so here we are. We are now in iOS 11. You can see it does say press home to finish up setting up iOS 11. So one thing I want to point out before we go any further into actually setting it up is that there is a new notification system. So if you do swipe up from the bottom, older notifications will appear down here, whereas current ones will appear here. You still have your widgets over to the left here. I don't see them there yet. Maybe I have to unlock first. I'll show you that in a minute. But I also do want to mention that your password does look a little bit different now. You do have to have a shade behind your numbers. A little bit clean if you ask me. I kind of like the look. Let me know your thoughts down below. Alright guys, so here we are in iOS 11, and I can tell you right now it does look a little bit different. It does not allow you to go ahead and put icons wherever you want. First of all, I do want to mention that. So if I grab an icon here, it's not going to let me put it anywhere where I want. It's still going to fly out. So iOS 11 still doesn't give you the ability to change that. In this video, I'm going to just show you more around the operating system rather than just, tell you all the technical details. This is a very buggy edition right here. This is the first release. And you can see we do have Apple files now. So you do have your Apple files in here, and it's going to be a file system finally on your iPhone. So you will have a file system here now on iPhone. Android's had this forever, but it's happy. I'm happy to see that it's now here on iPhone. Looks like we have a slightly redesigned calculator here for the iPhone on iOS 11. And let's go into the notifications tray. So you can see our clock is right there now, up at the top there. We can slide over for widgets. So that's a very nice touch there. I like how when I pull that down, I have a huge clock here on iOS 11. So pretty nice there. Animations are also a little bit different. You can see how they fly in and fly out. Like I say, right now it's going to be a little bit buggy because this is the first edition. The public release will be available later on at the end of June for this. But let's go ahead and go into the settings and check the wallpapers. Let's see if we can find any new wallpapers here on iOS 11. So going into stills, you can see they did include this wallpaper right here in beta 1 here. That's pretty much it when it comes to the wallpapers. What about live? Pretty much the same in live wallpapers. And here is one of the big differences here. The control center in iOS 11 is a lot different now. So you do have Wi-Fi here, airplane mode, but what they announced is that you can use 3D touch here to go like so and check out other things on the iPhone there. Also, you can go like this on your Bluetooth and you get a little menu inside of it. So you can also change brightness like this, like a slider. So it kind of like a little remote for your iPhone. It's really cool right here. So this is probably one of the better features of iOS 11 right here on the beta 1 edition. Now, I don't think many of the, design elements are going to change going forward. They're just going to update bugs and stuff like that. They might add a new app here and there. We're going to have to see what Apple does do here. But my first impressions are it's more of a refined OS over iOS 10 and not so much of a, a super major update, redesign icons or anything like that. It's going to be very similar to iOS 10 but more refined. And I think it works pretty well so far. So it does look like the weather app is a little bit different. The hours look a little bit bigger here to me, and also this is a little bit different down here. So that's an update there on iOS 11 as well. Also up at the top here, I'm seeing a little bit of a different battery icon. It looks a little bit more like the one that's found on the Mac operating system, so that's pretty nice touch there as well. So as mentioned earlier, I said I would revisit the lock screen. You can see if we swipe to the right, we do have our widgets tray right there. If we go over here to the right, it's still the photo application that we've come to know and love on iPhone here. And there is some updates in the Apple Maps app as well here for iOS 11. You've seen how twitchy that was right here. That's what comes with the territory when you're downloading in the first beta on your iPhone. But the Apple Maps app did receive updates where you can now have a map inside of malls as well as airports. I'm not going to open it up now, but definitely do have that update here for iOS 11 as well. Also in messages, I'm noticing that there's a big bolded icon. So this theme UI here, kind of like what they did in Apple Music last year, is kind of going in sync with the whole iOS operating system, bolder font types up at the top there. Also within the messages application, they included some new stickers easy to get to. Watch this. So say I'm writing a message here to somebody. You can see right here, this is the new feature in iOS 11, which allows you to pretty much go through your apps and just go into them right from the application. So we can go into Buffer right here and grab some stickers from there. We can grab some stuff from, let's see, Crossy Road, for example. So pretty cool stuff there, kind of related to your apps. This will improve over time and give you more functionality, but that's one of the new features to iMessage. Other than that, not too many differences in iMessages. And you can see here, even in the settings application, we do retain that settings bold type font there. And our dialer also receives a visual change. You can see it kind of looks like what they did on the lock screen with the shaded number keypad. So that's a pretty nice touch there as well. So Siri also received quite a few improvements, including a more natural sounding voice as well as a different visual cue at the bottom. So if I hold down Siri, say hello. You can see it's a little bit different down there now. Kind of a little bit different from before, but it's kind of modern. It's pretty cool. It's going to work well with the Apple Watch, I think, because it's a small screen with that small icon. So let's say something else like, what's the weather like today?
Okay, here's the weather for today.
So you can see she sounds just a little bit different here in iOS 11. And one of the biggest announcements with the iOS 11 is the App Store. So you can see it's all new and redesigned, and it's very clean and laid out. So it does say today right here, it does say games, and down here it has apps and updates. So very easy to navigate the new application store. Also, you can see in-app purchases right from the sidebar right here next to the application. And it's a more fluid UI. It's going to be quicker, as well as when you put your rating out, it's going to go quicker to the developer and it's going to be able to be seen faster. So a very, very nice update here to the App Store. I don't know if you're gonna like this. I kind of like it so far because it's really big and easy to see things, and that's good for my eyes, but you might not like it, you might like it. Let us know down below your thoughts on this one. That's pretty much a first look and review at iOS 11 for your iPhone. Now it does show a few new changes. We do have visual changes in the key and number pad. We do have an Apple file system now here built right in. Well, that's more like the Files application, which is going to hold your apps, but Android users have had this forever, and if you have an Android phone, you're thinking about coming to iPhone, you finally do not have to miss out on the file feature. So we also do have a redesigned calculator. Applications do have a bolded font throughout the OS, so if you go into calendar, you're going to just see bigger things up at the top here. You're also going to have a slightly different lock screen that handles notifications a little bit different. It'll show your older notifications if you swipe up, swipe down, and you'll have a little effect right there, and your current notifications here. Going to the left, you're going to see your widgets. Right is your calendar. A little bit of a different battery icon. You can see your password lock is different as well here. Visual changes to Siri, hello, hello. And you can also see a little bit of a different animation when it comes to opening applications. Right now it's going to be a little bit buggy, a little bit slow. Let Apple work out the kinks and we will have a much stabler operating system. But overall, what I'm seeing is a very, very similar to iOS 10 experience with a few crucial features and updates. You also do get Apple Pay person-to-person feature. I'm not going to show it here in this video because I don't see it right now on this phone right here. But we also didn't get a dark mode, which we were looking for. You cannot move apps where you want still, so there are some disappointments here, and there's not that many wallpapers right now. But that's pretty much going to wrap it up here for me on iOS 11, the Beta 1 review. Let me know your thoughts down below, what you would like to see going forward. Would you like to see this battery life test on this? Would you like to see a few days later how it's performing? Would you like me to continue making these beta updates? And just leave your feedback down below. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, click the like button for me, subscribe to the channel for more tech videos like this. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well and peace.